Welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Friday to you. This is Commissioner Cory, of course, from Fantasy Turf War, the show where 64 teams go head to head to see who's the ultimate champion. Today we've got a fun one. This is Zachary Fisher. Zachary Fisher owns a company called Dragon's Hoard, or is a co-owner of Dragon's Hoard, out in Greensboro, North Carolina. And they are my local game store, LGS. And that's where I buy most of my collectible stuff. And they have lots of gaming space. It's a great place to go check out. It's always fun seeing people come out of their elements, and so of course he plays more card games, board games, those traditional things. To see him step into a fantasy turf or fantasy football world is it's always interesting to put people a little bit out of their element but still competitive, and it's a fun interview. He is part of a duo of brothers, so we have Zachary Fisher up first, and there's a little bit of brotherly smack talk in there, so it's fun. But I think you guys will love it. Go check it out, and I hope you enjoy. Have a good weekend. All right. Good afternoon, Zach. How are you?
Wonderful. How you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain. How's the weather out there in North Carolina?
Gorgeous, sunny, and perfectly temperatured. I think temperature's a word. 75 degrees today, I think.
Yeah, it's been good. All right. Well, I'm excited to have the second half of the Fisher Duo interviews coming up now. Excited to have you in the league. You are my local game store, so it's interesting to kind of see how you guys perform in this. But welcome to the league.
Thank you. We're excited to be represented and to show you the better half of the Fisher duo. We actually have a third brother, but we couldn't get him on board for this one, so I shouldn't leave him out though.
Yeah, well, he automatically comes in third then, so maybe next season.
There you go. Yep.
So, all right. So, Dragon's Hoard, it is my local game store. I wanted to learn more about it. So, can you tell us, how'd you guys get started? Where did that all come from?
Sure. I'll give you the semi-short version. I am by day a commercial real estate broker. So I manage several shopping centers over here in the Triangle and Triad of North Carolina. And this was a space that a couple of years ago, there had been a toy store in the space, which is something I've always enjoyed and been fond of. And I had in a non-partnership way kind of supported and tried to help facilitate the growth of that store. And at the end of the day, it didn't work out. But one of their vendors in the store decided to take that lease over and created Dragon's Hoard from the ashes. And then after a few months of that, I saw that there was a lot of potential there, and I wanted to be more involved with it. And with my wife's permission, I sort of joined forces with Sherry and Steven at Dragon's Hoard, and so we became a trio. And I guess that was July of last year, so almost a year ago now. And so we've hit the ground running. We pivoted from that initial toy concept to more of a collectibles and games. So we really focus on card games and miniatures like Warhammer and Star Wars Legion, and then of course Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and all the other new card games, Illustrials and Alpha Clash and Flesh and Blood and more than I could probably mention. But and it's been exciting. We'll use that word. Good. I mean, good's a loose word there, but exciting certainly it has been. We've met a lot of really neat people. We've been, I think, a boon to the community. There's a lot of players that have that join us and play at our store regularly and have really enjoyed the atmosphere of the store, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's good. Yeah, it's good to hear. I recently moved out to this area as well, and one of the first things my son and I do is where's our LGS, where's our local game store. And Dragon's Hoard has been the one that we go to, and that's the one that we shop with. I will say, as of date of recording, we have had some success in that store with Lorcana players down in Atlanta, it looks like. So it's cool to see that they're doing well. And, we're big Lorcana fans, big Pokemon fans. I got some Pokemon stuff behind me. But yes, it's a cool experience. So I don't want to be too personal with which one's your favorite kid, though? Like, which one's your favorite game to play? I mean, we love all the games. Just like we love all of our
That's
kids.
A great question. Sure.
Have...
Sure. No. I do have a favorite, just favorite kid. Oh, wait, hold on. Edit that out. I do have favorite games. So My wife and I play a lot of the casual board games. That's really where our enjoyment is. So I don't if you're familiar with Wingspan and Ticket to Ride,
Oh yeah.
Calico, Carcassonne, Catan, those kind of games where you can sit down, have a quick game in 30, 45 minutes, an hour. That's really the games that I really enjoy. That doesn't require as much effort's not the right word. Maybe it is the effort's the right word, where you can just kind of enjoy the game without really investing a lot of time and money into it. I love the card games. I love the collectability of the card games. But as far as just straight entertainment value, I'm a big fan of the casual board game. And there's
Okay.
some great board
Cool.
games out there. And so,
Yeah,
um,
there have been some good ones, especially as of late. COVID changed a lot for everybody, and I think that's when we started rediscovering what board games were and like really getting into it and doing that as a family. So it's always good times, and I definitely appreciate
yeah,
now that I have two kids, playing a game that I buy one box, it's got everything in it. I do the thing, I put it back in the box, and I don't necessarily have to buy another
yep,
one tomorrow. But we also like to collect those things too. So
yeah.
cool.
And as far as the card games, I'd have to say Lorcana, just because Lorcana has been really good to Dragon Sword. We leaned in hard when that first came out last year because there were so many other Magic stores already in the Triad. We kind of claimed Lorcana as our own, and that's been good to us. So they'd have to be my favorite card game currently.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's definitely captured our attention as of late. Well, as pretty much since before they came out actually. So some of the side work I do put me at D23 Expo in Anaheim, California, where they announced Lorcana for the first time, and it was crazy event, but awesome.
Yeah,
Because the first day, no one had any idea what it was. We'd heard that there might be some sort of card game coming out, and then they announced the first day, and there were some people around, and in the collectors out there know that D23 Mickey was a handout, and they were just handing him out willy nilly. And the next day, people caught wind, and they were not available anymore. So
right.
it was good. It was good to get to experience that before all the other
Yeah,
fans came in there and took over. I did have the portfolio of, I believe, was it 6 or 8 promos in the
yep.
yep. So my dad still has 2. I sold mine for a lot of money for some cardboard, but yeah, it's been a fun game, and it's beautiful artwork, and we yeah, we definitely enjoy our Lorcana over here. All right, so now that we've talked about our hobbies with playing with board games and trading cards and cardboard and all the goodness in between, let's go ahead and switch over and talk some shop. So, Fantasy Turf War, it's a serious business here. We've got 64 teams going head to head. Fantasy football, it's a little chaotic, but you bring 5 years of experience to the league, so I think you've got a good leg up. I'd say you're, right in the middle of the pack in terms of experience. There's some folks in the league that have no years of experience, and then you've got some that have got like 25, 27, 30 years of experience, so that means they're going back way back to the pencil days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're in good company there. So, what have you decided to affectionately name your team this year?
We're going to go with the Deadites. I have historically named most of my fantasy teams after the Evil Dead villains. I was always a big Bruce Campbell fan growing up, and I guess still am today. He's still around, so I can still be his fan. But yeah, so the Deadites. We will be the Deadites.
Respectable. Some people go with like their company name, but you're going for a deep cut, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
So, you also bring, like I said, 5 years of experience to the table, but that is merely participation. Sir, have you won any of your leagues?
I am currently, in fact, gosh, this must have been, I don't know, it's probably 6 or 7 years ago now. I was invited to a neighborhood fantasy football league. There were 12 of us. I was the 12th man, the filler, so to speak, to round out the league, and I dominated. I destroyed the competition and won the league, and was never asked back to play. So I guess technically I'm the reigning champion at this point. I haven't lost in years. So yeah,
They're
so
gonna
one champion
watch.
under my belt.
They're gonna be in the comments and be like,
I
"No,
hope
no,
so.
it was a fluke." And
In fact, I remember because that was the year I drafted Cam Newton. And
Oh,
so this might have been maybe 10 years, maybe more than 6 years ago. And everybody laughed at me because why would you draft Cam Newton? And that was back when he was just, just running over all the competition kind of thing. And Cam Newton carried him in a championship. But they ever gave me a really hard time about having Cam Newton on my team. So,
which is
but I
odd.
won.
So
So
this was out in your current location, right? So this is
yeah,
pretty much his home turf. So
yeah, right.
getting some
But
hate on Cam
everybody
Newton
wanted a
can't be
Manning.
sure.
Yeah,
Well, I
sure.
understand that, I guess. Okay,
Yep,
okay. So you've got a championship under your belt, so you definitely know what it
yep,
takes.
yep.
But
And I plan to have another one soon. So
all right, respect. I think most people have gone. I just want to make the playoffs, so the top eight. If I can get top eight
uh,
out of 64, like that would be the thing. And it's like I would aim for first, and then if you aim and if you land
yeah,
somewhere
I
else,
want to win.
so there's a long road ahead. But someone always has to win, so it could be
Yep.
anybody.
Why?
All right. So now that we've talked fantasy football, let's go to the NFL a little bit. I noticed you have a similar favorite football team as your brother, and that you are an avid Dolphins fan.
That's correct. Yes. If I have been a Dolphins fan since uh, probably the mid '90s, I guess. So keep waiting for us to be good again. It's been a long, long time. We maybe turned a corner last year. I feel like we have some momentum now, and could potentially be a good team again. But it's been a rough 20 years to be a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, it was a good year last year, and the Marino
Yep.
era was always something to admire. I always hoped that he would get his ring before his time was up, but wasn't in the
Yep.
cards. But just keep your laces out, and then you'll be all right.
Laces it out, Dan.
All right. So now that we've covered all of that, let's go ahead and switch it into overtime. So we've got 3 questions. Every team gets the same three
Okay.
questions. No preparation. There's no cheat sheet, no study guides. Off the wall questions. Question number 1: do you believe in aliens?
Oh, do I believe in aliens? Yes. I'm gonna say unequivocally, I believe in aliens. Only from a statistical uh, number standpoint of there's just too many planets and solar systems and other things not to have other life somewhere else. I'm not suggesting those aliens are intelligent life or spacefaring or mind controlling creatures that will dominate us in the near future, but there must be other life somewhere else in the universe. So yes, is my answer.
It's a good answer. I like the numbers references. Statistical probability is good for fantasy football.
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Question number 2: what is the most unusual item you have in your office, and what is the story behind it?
Oh gosh. I should I
An
turn my camera around so you
unusual.
can see what's in my office?
It's up to you.
Because
Unusual
I,
is
I think
whatever you want
I
to
think
define it.
I think most people would consider my office unusual. Um, let me do this, and then you can maybe see. Right. So I've got my toy collections in my office. I don't know how much of this you can see.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so I've got a lot of unusual items in my office. I wonder the most unusual. You know what? I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna grab this right here and say I have me in my office. My wife made a Funko Pop version of me
That's cool.
for my 40th birthday, and so that's me wearing my Carolina Tar Heels shirt and holding a Spider-Man Funko Pop. So I'm gonna go with that for the most unusual
All right. I do
item in my
notice.
office.
So you kind of ragged on your brother's unusual item, because I noticed you have a He-Man castle also in your background.
I do. So actually, technically, that castle is from a toy line called Arco: The Other World. So that's not a Masters of the
Oh.
Universe castle. That is a
Okay.
much rarer, more valuable castle than my brother's castle. So he's got the generic poor man's Castle Grayskull. I've got Arco: The Other World over here.
Very cool. All right. Just thought I'd throw that out there. That was referenced in
Yep.
his interview. So
Yep.
while we're on the topic, addressing that elephant in the room, and I just want to get it recorded while we have the other
Yep.
half recorded. The question has been brought up as to whether or not you two will be playing in the same division, and if that would be a conflict of interest. In which, so for the audience knows at home, we've already addressed the situation, but I would like to hear it on air. Sir, do you have a problem playing your brother in fantasy football?
It's basically a free win every time I play him, as far as I'm concerned. It's he won't know what he's doing. His team's going to be weak and unable to win. So sure, throw all the weak players in my league, and then I can win the championship. It works for
All
me.
right.
So no
Well, it's good to
problem at
see.
all.
Good to see you guys had similar sentiments towards each other. That won't cause
Oh.
any problems for Thanksgiving. It's good. Good. But you will definitely be in the same division against each other because
Okay,
I think
we're
we
excited.
have to settle the family debate. And look, if your other brother decides he changes his mind, we can talk. We could put him in the division too. But
I'll ask. I don't know that he's ever watched a game of football in his entire life. Um, but
we've
I'll
played
ask him.
we've played fantasy long enough to know that it's usually the people with no experience that end up
That's
winning
true.
the thing. So maybe we shouldn't ask
That's
him.
true. Right. Yeah.
So awesome. Well, Zach, it has been an amazing time talking to you. We see each other often, but rarely on a video format. Where can
Sure.
people find you? Where can people find more about Dragon's Hoard and keep up with the latest?
Yeah, so Dragon's Sword is located in Greensboro, North Carolina, 4645 West Market Street. We're in a little food line shopping center, open every day but Monday. Oh gosh, or somebody's there usually by noon, and then we technically close at 9, but oftentimes players will end up playing later into the night if they're in the middle of a game. So whether it's Warhammer or Magic the Gathering or Lorcana or any other big games, we do them in the store, and most of the store space is table and gaming space. So we never charge for it. People can come in and play whatever games they want to play in the store and just have a good time.
Very cool. And of course, we'll plug all those in the links below in the show notes so that people can go find you there. And sir, I wish you the best in the league. I do hope that you make the playoffs. Although I tell every team that. So, but for you, I mean it. I mean it. But
I'm sure you
I
tell
wish you the
everybody that
best.
too.
I'm not commenting, but maybe. It's been fun, and I look forward to seeing you guys going at it in the league, and hopefully at least one of you can walk away with the championship so that Thanksgiving and Christmas are a little bit bright, this year for you guys.
There you go.
So awesome. Well, Zach,
I appreciate
we will see you in the league. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.